What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And today we're going to talk about Black Mirror, Season 4, Episode Dos, Archangel. Sadly, not an episode about the X-Man that I was really stoked. Thought we were going to dip into X-Men territory here. We're not. C'est la vie. Such is life. But anyway, Archangel stars Rosemary DeWitt and Owen Teague and a lovely young actress who I'm not familiar with. But honestly, I wouldn't have been familiar with Owen Teague either if he hadn't starred in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So if I had reviewed this at the time that it came out, I'm like, I don't know who this dude is. But I'd be like, Rosemary DeWitt is in Archangel. So what is it? Well, it's an interesting story of hovering as a parent. We have a mother played by DeWitt who is just really on top of making sure that her daughter is safe at all times. And I felt like there wasn't enough backstory for us to know, or maybe I missed it. Like, how did the child come into the world? I know it's Black Mirror, and I don't want to make like assumptions about like, did you have a husband? Uh, but like, how did you get a child into the world? Because she's making like solo parent decisions as a single parent, but we don't know how we got here. Um, we do this a lot now where we just like don't address it, like Freaky Friday, like what happened, what is going on here in Freakier Friday. So uh it's interesting to note these things because it gives context as to why she's more worried, because something horrific happened to her husband, partner, boyfriend, one night stand. She just got pregnant the second, and then the roof collapsed on him. I don't know, so she's a little worried. She's living in a Final Destination type situation. These things I feel like are slightly pertinent, but cool. So we live in this world which I've been explained as like the Black Mirror world, where everybody gets this like chip installed in their brain. We're living in Elon Musk's dream future is what we're living in. And I don't understand this. I would not have this. I would no. Anybody who can hack my brain is just like, that's a hard pass. So they put this Archangel system in because she's a child, and it's like a protector. So it like filters out the bad things. It's all, originally it's done because she wanders off for a few seconds, and she's like down the street. She followed like a cat, and like one of the neighbors has her, and it's like, oh, she was going down the hill after she was following a cat. Like, she just like wanders away from the house. So because mom wasn't paying attention to her, or I don't know, maybe dad was supposed to be paying, and that's why we don't have dad anymore, is because she murders him off camera and for letting their child run away. Also a possibility. So they have this experimental program, Archangel, installed, which filters out things, lets her know where the kid is, lets her know exactly what the daughter is seeing, which feels like just a road to not go down. And if I was the kid and I knew that that was like a thing that was in my body that my mom could see, I don't know what I'd do. Like, walk around all the time with my eyes closed. I probably would have been operating as a blind person anyway, been like, I don't want my mom to see this. Like, just trying to live life with my eyes closed. Be like, I don't know, my mom could be watching me at any point in time, and this is weird. It's so weird. Of course, I'm blind now anyway, but I wasn't when I was a kid, is my point. So this goes predictably where I kind of thought the episode would go, but I don't have anything wrong with the episode. I was like, obviously this is not going to work out well. Most Black Mirror things don't work out well, but this one is screaming, will not work out well. So the little girl, she goes up from like 3 to elementary school age, and the kids at school think she's weird, and they call her like the narc or whatever because they like to, you know, some kids are like listening to like violent content and stuff, and it even filters out this dog that like barks at her. Like she can't hear the dog, she can't hear certain uses of language, anything that would spark. It's just everything is just filtered out, so it sounds like uh, adults on Peanuts. She has a Peanuts filter. Anyway, and then she grows up and finally she gets to a point where um, the mom is so stupid that she doesn't realize that because she's left Archangel on the whole time, that she's stunted her kid's growth, because then her kid starts like stabbing things and her pencil because she hasn't been able to operate correctly. She takes her to a child psychologist. She's like, "Is it autism?" And the psychologist is like, "No, she just turn off Archangel. You know it's banned in other places, right?" Like, are you dumb? So, uh, so it's fine. So she has to turn off Archangel, and finally the little girl can experience the world as is. So at that point, the girl just goes like all in. Like it does get a little bit much because the girl like aggressively wants to, like, there's a scene later on when she picks up because she likes this little boy who grows up to be, I guess, a high school dropout. I don't know. He's delivering and she's still in school, and he's doing like deliveries and stuff. I guess he dropped out. Played by Owen Teague, and he also casually sells cocaine on the side. Just, just like the huge. We all did that in when we were in high school days. We just did deliveries and slung some coke, right? That was a thing we all did. And so he's not even into it. He's just like, yeah, I just have this for other people just to make some money on the side. It's just like, can I have some? I'm just like, what? Oh my god. Anyway, but of course there's a scene where mom ends up watching her daughter have sex because she's just destined to have her soul crushed because she just can't. She has no chill. This woman has no chill. And the thing is that, like, I get that your daughter's not, but like, what was your life like as a child? Does every adult just forget that they were children once, and that they did? Was she just no fun? Did she never do anything as a kid? I don't understand. So yeah, surprisingly, there's a night where her daughter lies to her about her location and goes off and parties in the woods with some other kids and her friends, and then has sex with her boyfriend. And her mom's like, "Oh well, she's not at the movie night like she said she was going to be." And then so she pulls out old Archangel, good old Archangel, and uses the location thing and taps into the vision, and like watches her daughter have sex with this guy, and then she's just really upset. And it just goes downhill from there. She forces the guy to break up with the girl, and yeah. Eventually it leads to a fight, which does not go well for them. And yeah, we get the be careful what you wish for scenario, which Black Mirror is very good at delivering. As she's bloodied on the floor, and she's trying to like crawl over to the device. There's some good moments in this, though. There's some like useful moments where you're like, oh well, okay, so if we don't abuse this is somewhat useful. Like the little girl earlier on when she's like 3 is at home with her grandpa, and her grandpa has a heart attack with just the 3-year old, and the 3-year old doesn't know what to do. But mom checks in and happens to see while dad is still alive, and then is able to call the thing, call 911 to have him come in. So that's helpful. That's something. Um, but a lot of the stuff is just kind of like, yeah, well, duh. I mean, you're going too far with it. There's a difference between coming up with like the equivalent of chipping your child when when they're little like that, so in case they're abducted, you know where the location is. Um, which can be handy. I'm not gonna lie. Like we would probably solve a whole bunch of like Amber Alerts if that was the thing. Um, but at the same time, I feel like anything you put in there should, like, the autonomy as soon as you become an adult, like, has to become yours. Like, no questions. So uh yeah, from that point on, no more parents checking in on you. Like it has to have some way of disabling. But so that's like when I get into the would I could this happen, and would I do it section of the Black Mirror episodes. Could this happen? Sort of. I think we're a long way away from brain chips as much as Elon talks about them, especially mainstreaming them, and mainstreaming them so much that people are installing programs like Archangel on brain chips. Um, but so I think that's so far away, we'll never know the answer to the question. Anybody who could possibly ever be watching YouTube won't even be in existence by the time they get Archangels. That's for the people who are in flying cars finally. When we finally get flying cars, we'll have something like Archangel. uh, when they're where we're going, there are no roads, but there is Archangel. Um, and but I think there could be something similar. Like I said, I think having the equivalent of chipping your child is something I could see somebody coming up with and being like, the end to all Amber Alerts. Know where your kid is at all times. With just a little chip. Be able to locate your Find My Kid. It's an Apple product. You can go load Find My Kid. Yeah, I can see that happening. That was the whole reason this whole thing started in the first place. But as far as like everything else, like filtering out like nonsense and actually being able to control what they see, and then you being able to see what they see, that's science fiction. That's way out in there. That's like when we meet the Klingons. For real. uh yeah, I think the most likely thing that would happen would be we'd be able to locate our kids, and it'd be something that would be injected into them that would have a lifespan of however many years, so that way it dies out after, I don't know how, because it has like a battery in it, right, or something. So it wouldn't be for your whole life. Eventually, at some point, it would just, you wouldn't be able to check in on it. I mean, an AirTag, like at a certain point, these people are trying to put AirTags on shit that isn't theirs. Your AirTag disables if it hasn't been near your phone in a while, so you can't leave it on there forever. Anyway, yes. Would I do it? If I had a little kid, the chipping thing, just maybe. Especially if like I was with a partner who was like, should we do this? I was like, I'm not crazy about it, but I don't know, the world is crazy, so that makes sense. Like just being able to know that I can locate a kid at any point in time in case they get abducted. I'd also like to think that I'd be a strong enough parent to just keep track of them, but I think everybody thinks that. And plus the fact that I'm blind and not, being able to see my kid who could just wander off and maybe like, where they go. Like, So yeah, I mean, but other than that, I'm not really interested in the rest of that, and I think it's a terrible idea. Like, if somebody was if I was in that situation and this did exist, and I came home, my partner was like, "Oh, I did this to the kid," I'd be like, "That's an awful idea, and I'm never using that." I do not want, I do not want to break that veil of the idea of trust that we have, because I know that they're gonna lie. I know they're gonna do silly things as kids, because we all did dumb shit as kids, and constantly checking in on them and seeing what they're seeing through their eyes and trying to filter out the bad stuff is just pointless. So, um, yeah. So that's Archangel. I thought it was a pretty solid episode because it did a really good job. And one of the reasons it's a pretty solid episode is because it's directed by Jodie Foster. Shout out to good directors. Although Dan Trachtenberg's episode is not great. So when these directors get pulled in and I see their names pop up and I'm like, oh, huh. So if Black Mirror is going to keep going, I'd love to see them dip into some of these like newer sort of horror directors that we have. See if we can get Ari Aster to do an episode. See if we can get Robert Eggers to do an episode. See if we can get, some of these people, Jordan Peele, a couple of these people to do an episode. I mean, Jordan Peele essentially did the Twilight Zone stuff, but for Paramount Plus. But yeah, there's some interesting newer directors that could be pretty cool in this Black Mirror-esque world. So that's what I got. Grade A. I mean, I feel like the whole story just told itself. There wasn't anything where I was like, other than the fact that I was like parentage, but like that's not like a huge thing in the story. I just notice it when we just don't talk about it, because I feel like it could help shape, especially when you have a kid that's that young. It's like, are you having to make co-parenting decisions? She also has a job that I'm really unsure what it is, because she goes to it once and then later on she's sleeping with her client, and like, it's her job to sleep with her client. I didn't conceptually even understand really what she did for a living, because it's such like an under. Maybe I should do an A-. I'm gonna do an A-. There are a couple things with the story. I realized that. I remember now with her job, I was like, what does she do? I wasn't really sure, because and then like her dating life, her love life is just really put aside. So then when she ends up sleeping with her client, I was like, is that what does she sleep with clients? Is that a thing that she does? Or does she like him? I did not know what her job was. I feel like it wasn't that, but at the same time, there's been like an evolution over time from the first time she went to work to the last time she goes. She doesn't go to work that many times in the course of the episode. So, I thought she did a great job. I like Rosemary DeWitt. I think she's a great actress, so that was a plus. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.